"You're just behind me," is one of like the most influential little sentences that I ever heard in my understanding of jiu-jitsu. My whole jiu-jitsu career, every coach says what? Don't let them get your back. Don't let them behind you. Never turn your back. All of these rules. And defensive jiu-jitsu between Preet and Chris, they emphasize, no, you don't have my back. You're just behind me. And I came to understand it in this way that I use this analogy. I imagine that I am a two-dimensional being, right? There's no way for me. As long as I keep you out of entering the third dimension of my body, you will not have control of my back. And I learned this from actually, Chris used to have a thing that he'd like to do to people where he would go on his knees and hold their wrists like this, and he called it dog leashing. He had them chased around the gym, and it'd be hilarious. Well, I don't like being a dog very much, not really my thing, but I do like dancing. And so I like convincing unsuspecting jiu-jitsu people to dance with me. And how do I do that? As long as I hold his wrist, I can make sure that he cannot enter this third dimension of my plane. I'm staying on the inside. If I didn't have this arm, he's entered the third dimension. He's now got my armpits. He's now got a means of control. But if I stiff arm and walk like a zombie towards that arm, Chris is now going to be encouraged to dance with me. The only thing I'm really worried about is him grabbing my hip. So I have my left hand constantly coming through, and I do like for fun to occasionally just say no. As I do that, just to add a little bit of annoyance, just no, stop it. No. I keep saying no, and I don't want to let him get there. And I keep my arm straight. So I will do this to people. I will get up, I'll start walking towards this. I'll keep pushing it off, and he has to dance with me. Now, if he chooses to bring his hand over here, like so, and go for an arm drag, I can literally just let go. And now he's straight back up. So what I like to do is a little, here, if we're like so, as long as Chris is here, he is behind me, he cannot actually take my back. Once he comes through here, then he can take my back, right? So if I'm right here, I'm gonna walk and make him dance. If I try to have a game where an open mat, I can make someone do this for 10 seconds chasing me, I won my own side quest for that day's open mat of making someone dance with me. When I'm actually using it in a match, I won't do it for 10 seconds, but for a few seconds I'll come here, but then instead of turning back into him and collapsing myself and actually get my back taken, I'll always turn the other way as I throw the hand behind me. All right? Because he wants me to be inside of his arms. He wants to grab something. I want to close his grasp so that I can come back in the game. And if you're a wrestler, as I close his grasp, after walking into it, I'm lined up to come in on a shot. I'm not a wrestler. I don't do that. I'll close things up and probably just stare at you. But if you are a wrestler, opportunities are there. So that is the standing dog leash.